fertility is one of those pieces where you can actually feel really okay, but your body is still struggling to conceive. Let's focus on treating the root cause, which I know we'll talk about a little bit more in a little bit. And how do we do that? Because I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, it's so easy, just treat the root cause. But it's actually very much a skill that you have to hone and kind of perfect.
For someone who doesn't know or is new to kind of natural medicine, what's the biggest difference between naturopathic medicine and traditional medicine?
Yeah, that's a great question. So both, I like to state for the record, I think are very needed and very wonderful and essential in today's world. Um, Traditional medicine is more like the typical, you see a doctor, you get a medication, or you just go, once a year for your check-in, things like that. Natural medicine's a little bit more, I don't want to say well-rounded, because like I said, I think we need both, but we do focus on things like diet and lifestyle and herbs and supplements, and we learn to treat the whole system. And there's just a lot that we focus on that tends to be a little bit different from not only just what we do as practitioners, but even our training, right? Our training was very much, let's focus on treating the root cause, which I know we'll talk about a little bit more in a little bit. And how do we do that? Because I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, it's so easy, just treat the root cause. But it's actually very much a skill that you have to hone and kind of perfect. And within our schooling, we learn, we not only take diet and nutrition, which most practitioners do not have to take, we also take herbal medicine, botanical medicine, physical medicine, psychology, and we learn basically the foundation of naturopathic medicine. We call it the therapeutic order. And I think it's really beautiful, but it's a pyramid, kind of like you would see like the food pyramid, right? And on the bottom is going to be, the basics, right? Diet and lifestyle as treatment. The next piece is going to be herbs and supplements. The next piece is going to be medications. And then the last piece will be surgery or more invasive treatments, right? So it's pretty cool when you start to look at it like that. And there's definitely a way to kind of train your brain to actually learn how to best do that.
So, what exactly is naturopathic fertility care?
Yeah. So I've kind of taken naturopathic medicine and just from learning and mentorship that I've been through, created what I like to do for those struggling with fertility. So it's still very much diet and lifestyle, herbs and supplements and all of that great stuff. It's just a little bit more focused on fertility care. I look at numbers slightly differently. I am going to be looking at things that, might not impact overall health in general, but really do impact fertility, because fertility is one of those pieces where you can actually feel really okay, but your body is still struggling to conceive. And that can be really difficult to find what's going on underneath everything. If you're just like, I feel healthy, I live a healthy life, what's next? So I would actually say majority of my cases are people who feel pretty good, who just haven't been able to figure out the underlying cause of what's going on with fertility.
So, when it comes to naturopathic fertility care, what unique benefits does it have for those trying to conceive versus if they were to just go in more of the conventional path?
Yeah, so I find that a lot of people go the conventional path and are either told, this is unexplained, which I kind of already touched on, right? This is unexplained fertility. Let's go to IUI or IVF, which to me makes little to no sense, because most of the time, if you find an explanation for fertility, at least in the conventional world, it's something that IUI or IVF can absolutely fix, right? Like or not absolutely fix, but definitely work in their favor, in the sense of, if we're not ovulating, IUI via letrozole, right, via medication could help ovulation occur. And then we get the sperm past the cervix, and that creates more opportunities, obviously, to conceive. If there is a lower sperm count, but not too low, again, with IUI, we're passing barriers to get sperm to meet egg. But if people are told that they're ovulating and the sperm count's okay, why do we need to do those things or even jump to IVF, right? Why is that something we have to do? And most people get
Yeah.
told it's your only option, essentially because don't know what other options are. Not them being the patients, but the practitioners. And I don't ever like to hate on other practitioners, but it's just kind of the reality of it, of they just not sure what the next step is, and the only step they know of to be impactful for them or for their patients is going to be IUI or IVF.
Yeah.
There are other cases too. I mean, I totally believe people can also get pregnant naturally if they aren't ovulating, or if there is a low sperm count, we can improve those things as well, right? I just feel like a lot of times no one's given the chance. And
Yeah.
a lot of that has to do with the basics of what we're probably going to dive into more, but the diet, the lifestyle, herbs, supplements, hormones, gut health is very
Yeah.
important to me. And so, yeah, there's kind of a lot of nuances with that. But again, I try to keep it as short and sweet as possible.